Hello friends, welcome back to C virtual session. In last session, we had a discussion related to the like what is C and as a C as a compiler, what are the phases involved like compilation, linking and executions, and how your source code will be converted into the executable code. And we tested some of the programs which are related to the like how we initialize the data and how we perform the arithmetics and how we able to perform the printing operations and all. How to, like is the motive behind last session was to write a source code using C library, where we understand the concept of header file, why there is a main required. What is main? Main is a user defined functions, but it got the ability to execute firstly automatically at a time of executions, right? Means the program execution actually starts from the main, and as main gets a call from the system interrupt, it is not returning any value. The control will be back to the command prompt, and hence main is a void functions, right? So if somebody asks you what is the program structure of C, right, then first of all you need to discuss about the preprocessor directives, right? Area means on the top of the main, where we are including our header files like hash include stdio, hash include conio, hash include math, hash include ctype.h. That particular area which is on the top of the main, right, is called as preprocessor directives area. Means as we studied that C library is built up of two main components, that is, one is your keyword, right? What is keyword? A word having specific meaning in a programming language, right? And the second is your function. It's a predefined process which is useful for performing specific task. To consider as an example, just like whenever you declare the variable integer, right? Whenever you declare a variable of float type, whenever you declare a variable of like any other variable type, then you are using a word, and that word is called as keyword, right? There are many more 30-40 keywords we are using while writing or while building the programming concepts. At the same time, functions means, like for example, printf, which ends by the pair of parentheses of functions. Function actually referring to a process, and keyword is actually referring to a specific word. While constructing a programming statement, keyword as well as functions, predefined functions, are useful. Now functions, as actually it is referring to the specific process. So while constructing C library, what they did, they provide you collection of functions, collection of specific functions in the form of header file. It means what? Like let's take an example of a hash include stdio.h. Now std stand for standard and IO stand for input output header file. Now header file means collection of predefined functions. Means obviously what they did, they collect and they wrote the definition of all the functionalities which are related to the standard input output operations and stored it in a header file called as stdio.h. Means like mainly in the standard input output header file you will find the functionalities like a printf for printing reason, which is standard output, scanf for standard input, means for inputting data, for printing data. These kind of functionalities are actually referred to the stdio.h. And let's take another example of a Conio.h. Actually, Conio is a short form of console input output, means internal system input and output, and there it provides the functionalities like getch, right, which halt for the user input, or which actually ask the user to get a cadre from the user, but it will not echo on the screen, and it will provide you the functionality like CLR SCR, which is going to clear the screen and all. So now it means what, they provide you the library, right, in the format of two things: keywords. Now keywords are not going to process by in header file. These are going to process by the core library of the C. But your header file or means they collect all the related functions and their definitions in header file, and they build a header file for that reasons. So in this manner we understand the point that while writing C programs we need to use keywords as well as the predefined functions for writing programming statements, and whichever the like, because as I said, your keywords, for using keywords there is no specific header file need to be included, but for the sake of any predefined functions you have to refer, you have to just like include that particular header file. Now why we are including header file? We are just specifying or guiding the compiler that I am using this functionality and its definition lies in this particular header file over there, right? Hope you understand this concept. So now your preprocessor directives area is actually inclusion of header files, defining constants, what we will discuss in the coming sessions, as well as declaration of global variables. Means like here, if you are inclusion of header file, define constants, right, and then you have a global declaration of variables. For all these reasons we are using the pre-processor directive area. And then you got the main, and obviously the main statement here you have to go with the declaration of variables, right? And then you think about the input statement majorly, and then you got a control and process statements, and then finally the output statement. Right? It means while writing the C, the question was what is the program structure of C. The top area is actually reserved for the preprocessor directive area, which consists header files defining constants and the global declaration of variables. Then we have a main. Every program of C starts with a main, and it's a main process. It's a main functions. So first of all, whatever the program or solution you are building, you have to declare the variables firstly. Then you think about the inputting data, because these variables you are declaring to get the data from the user and assign to them, and then obviously you have to input the data. Because your program never will deal with the constant. If your program deals with the constants, then all the time it gives you the fixed results. Right? So that's why variables requires. Means program should give the opportunity to the users to get the input, and then your program should, on the basis of the inputs given by the user, your program should able to process that, control and process that, and able to generate the output of it, right? Let us discuss this by example. Now before going for actually program building, we need to understand basic data types in C. Now basic data types in C means variable types. Right? Means like first of all we need to declare a data type, so that whatever the data user want to process, first of all the data need to be inputted, and then we can fetch that value storing the variables in the expressions. So basically we have integer. To store the numeric values, we have integer as a basic data types. The keyword what we are using is integer. Data type is integer, and the keyword what we are using, that is int, to declare the integer type of variable. The memory size given by the your compiler, that is of 2 bytes. Okay. And the control string what we are using, that is %d, right? Means if you are dealing with the integer type of data, the keyword what you are using, actually like that integer you are using for storing the numeric values, right? Numeric values means without floating point. If any number is there, then it has to be used as an integer, and stored the 2 bytes memory allocations to be occupied, and the control string we are using, that is a %d. It obviously it have a like the range of data, that is -3 to 768 to +3 to 76 and all. We'll be discussing this in the coming sessions, right? And then we'll be going with another type of data that is called as float. The keyword is using float, and it occupies 4 bytes, and the %f is used for that reason, right? For inputting or outputting the value of floating variables, we have to use a control string that is called as f. Then we have a character. The char is a like keyword, and 1 byte memory will be allocated to it, and %c is a control string we are using. And we have a set of characters. If anybody's name, anybody's address you want to store, then you want to make a set of characters, not that particular data of a name, address cannot be stored in a single character. So hence we require a set of characters, and it is called as a string type of data. But basically, okay, it's a string type of data, and there is no string as a data type, so we have to make it an array of character, right? And obviously size will be user defined. It's like if you want to make a set of 10, then you have to specify 10. If you want to make a space of 20 characters you want to make a collection of, then you have to specify the size of it. So the memory size for the string type of data is user defined, and %s is actually the control string we are using for reading and writing the string type of data. Now this is about the basic type of data over there. Then we have a, like, let's say whenever you declare an integer, by default it becomes a short integer, right? But if you want to enhance the range of it, we have a long integer, we have an unsigned long integer, and next is to enhance the limit of float, we have a double as a type over there. So by default it's a short integer, so we are using %d as a as a control string, and if you are using a long, then like you are using %ld, long integer, and if you are using unsigned long integer, %uld, unsigned long integer. Such kind of control strings are using. And if you are using double, obviously %d is already allocated, so you are using %g for double. So these type of control strings we are using, and we are basically why we need to understand data types. I'll be giving you the notes and the memory range and everything over there. But like what exactly you can you will be understanding the variable types, because the first thing is that while writing the programs we have to declare the variables, right? So we have to input the data into the variables, but that inputted data is of various types. It may be the integer type, it may be the float type, it may be the character type, it may be the string type, right? It may be the short, long, unsigned, like so. Wisely we need to declare the variables, because every variable got the memory size, right, and what type of data we are importing, because like while before like what is exactly programming means, it's a data processing, right? So means first of all you have to get the input of a data, right, and then we need to think about the control and process the data, and hence we need to deeply understand about the data types of the various available, and memory size, range, and the control string and all, right? Hope you understand this, what I mean about the basic data types used in C, right? Okay, after understanding the data types, because basically before going for any program developments, we need to think about the declaration of variables over there. In last sessions we were discussing the programming practice and techniques that directly implementation is not possible. You have to understand the problem, you need to analyze and make a design of it, and once the algorithm is ready, then you are ready for implementation. So while building even programs also, once your algorithm is ready, then what type of data type is required, and then like what I need to read from the user, what I want to process, what I want to control. These all things that all steps should be in the mind, and then you can able to write the programs for it. Let us like write a program for, let's say, okay, I'm giving some practice to write the programs for. Let's say I want to build a program for item bill. Let's say you want to develop a bill of an item. What I can do means, like, to develop an item bill, what we need to read the what item name of the item which you purchase, the unit price of that particular item, and the quantity you purchase. Now these are the what to develop the item bill. What is actually you need as an input. This is item name, unit price, and the quantity, right? And what you need to compute with the expressions, that is price, which can be computed as a computed by writing the formula unit price into quantity, right? If you have a discount, let's say you are offering the discount by the 5%, it's a discount equal to then price into 5% means 5 divided by 100, so it means you have to multiply by 0.05, right? And then you have to go with the net price, obviously after reducing the discount. So the formula you have to use, that is apply, that is called as price minus discount, right? Now just understand, like your input item name, obviously item name means name of the item, so it's a string type of data, so it requires a character array. Unit price mostly it's a rounded value, so you have an integer. Quantity, again it's a rounded value, so you have integer. So now integer into integer, like basically, so price once again maybe the integer type of data. But when you want to find out the discount, so discount will be, let's say, price into 0.05. So if in your expression, right, if there is a floating data is there, floating data means data with the floating values, or data with the decimal values, right? So in such situations, obviously the result is in the float. So while declaring price type of variable, it has to be the integer. Unit price, again integer and integer, and then float value will be discount will be declared as a float value, and net price again, because price minus discount, again you will not get the rounded value most of the time. So your discount net price will be the floating type of data. Means like why I'm discussing these things, because basically whenever you are going to develop a program, first of all you guys need to understand what type of data should I declare. Now item name cannot be declared as an integer type or float type. It has to be the string type over there, because it consists the string type collection of characters. The unit price obviously it's an integer, because most of the time it's rounded. You can go with the floating values also. It's not like that all the time your unit price will be the integer rounded value. But what I mean, unit price most of the time it's rounded values. You go with the integer. Quantity again rounded value. Rounded in the sense like okay, you can't like you cannot buy the 1.2 something, like so. That's why it's a most of the time it's a integer type of value. Again, like choice is used. If you want to go with the floating values, you can. And then you have a declare a price variable. Again, it's a unit price into quantity. Here is the expressions you are using for computing price, and discount price into something in the like discount will be the 5%, 10%. So percent means what? 1 divided by 100. So obviously you will get the floating number, floating as a resultant value. So discount again will be the float, and net price will be float over there. How to understand like what type of variables we needed, and what variables were required to build the expressions over there, right? So hash input stdio.h, as I discussed about standard input output header file, and then we have a conio.h, right? And then you need to do the void main, and here the first step will be declare all those variables which are required in the program. For example, like so, give a title over there, declaration of variables, right? So what variables required? Character name, item name, and maybe 10, 20, whatever size you required, that you declare. Then your unit price for the you make a short form of it. Unit price for like instead of at unit and price, you go to UP as unit price, because you have to use all those variables again and again the expressions to process the data. So if you can use the shortcuts and short forms, it will always better to remind as well as use efficiently in the programming expressions. So QTY for quantity and the price. Now look what I'm doing over here. I'm just accumulating. I'm just collecting all the similar type of variables and writing the same line, right? And then float variable required, that is your discount and the net price. Okay, so my declarations of variables, like in C, whatever the list of variables you need, that you need to declare on the top, and then after declarations over, you have to clear the screen. Then what I discussed, you have to think about the first thing, that is how I will read the data from them, because it's a data processing. You are writing a program means you are building a data processor. So first of all, you have to think about what type of data I should read from the user. So printf, enter item name. First of all, you have to read the name of the item, right? And then scanf. As I said, you have to use a control string, that is %s, because you are reading the item name, string type of data. So item name you read, and then you can copy paste it. You are reading the item name, you can read unit price /t for getting tab, and a tab means fixed space between the two respective comments, and unit price and quantity. If you want to make an input on the same line, then unit price is of infinite type of data, as well as you have a quantity as well. So why not you make it a one statement of it. So now your input is over, because you have to read only the item name, unit price and quantity, and the rest are the computing segments. So here we read the data. That segment is clear. You can even able to make a comment like 2/ also, as you are using a compiler which is useful for C and C++. Actually in UNCC you cannot make the comment in 2/. But anyway, now right now whatever the compilers you are using, they are enhanced one, so you can build the C and C++ programs programs with the same compiler. Hence your 2/ also used for the comment, also for single line comment, right? Multi-line comment, the same thing, / /star and */. Now comment, you know, that the thing that okay, if you want to give some title, if you want to write some notes, then and if there is no programming statements are there, then to make it initially to add the notes on your programs, you have to go with the comment over there, right? So it can be the single line or it could multi-line. Multi-lines means like it has to start with a /star, and then you can write the multiple lines like this, which are right on the top. And then if you have got a single line comment over there, you have to go with the two forward slash. But this is not the ANSYS standards of writing a comment. Two forward slash is not allowed. But in case of C++, it is allowed over there. So as I explained you, okay, my the compilers what we are using, there are both supportive for the C and C++. So you can use two forward slash also, single line comment over there. Okay, here you read the item name, unit price and quantity. Now it's time to compute the things. First of all, you have to compute price, that is equals to UP into quantity, unit price into quantity, and after that discount equal to your price into 0.05, 5% discount, and your net price equals to your price minus discount, right? And then you print the resultant values like okay, price, your price. If you want to print the entire things in the because your computing is over, you print bill. So you can go with the tab and bill, and then you go to the new line, and then like you can go to the print tab, go to the name of the item. You can summarize everything like go to the name of item, that is %s. I already explained that while printing the value of a variable as well as while reading the value of a variable, you have to use a control string. So item name is your string type of data. Then you can print your unit price, that is %d, then quantity, that is again %d, and then your price, that is again %d, and you can everything you can print out single line by separating like this. Alright, and then you will go with a discount. Now what type of data discount is? It's a floating value, so you can write %f, and then you can have a net price. Again, it's a %f. Now try and understand, if you use a %f, then you can print like LS, your discount and net price. If you use a %f, then by default it will print that value using 6 decimals. Means, for example, if you are using float a equals to 4.5, and if you print f %f and e, and if you print like 4.00005, right, this is the output you will get. Because by default it will print the floating values using 6 decimals. But if you need the floating values in up to maximum 2 decimal points, then you can go with the %.2f. Right? This is called as defining the picture clause of that particular variable. Right? So %.2f means now if you use %f, by default you will get the result like 4.0000 like this. Up to the 6 decimal positions. But if you need an answer like now here, you get an answer like this 4.05. This is the final answer you get if you modify it in the %.2f. So let us as we don't require most of the time the decimal places up to the 6 decimals, so you can go with the %.2f. Hope you understand like why I'm modifying it to %.2f. Means after real part, the decimal positions I am expecting, that is maximum up to 2 positions only, and discount and net price, these are the floating type of data. So you will get a result up to the 2 decimals over there. So now your program is over. You can save it like this. In last sessions I already explained you how to save and run the code over there. So if you plan the coding in flawlessly by keeping all the clipping and considering all the aspects of the programs, it's like here what the input you required, what the things you have to compute, and what the output you are expecting over there, and you declare all the variables, read all the data, write the computing statement and process it well. So I believe there is very less chances of getting any errors over there. So while writing the code, even like let's say every statement, like what is the syntaxes of the C what you followed? First of all the header files need to be included, then void man, then declare all those variables. Every programming statement should be end by the semicolon, and you think about the input data, you write the computing statements properly, right? And then you go with the final execution of it. So in this manner you can able to build a simple program sort of it, right? Now just in the discussions, let's write some other code over there. Now in the discussions, I discussed that that integer type of variable will get the 2 bytes of memory, right? As well as float will get the 4 bytes of memory and all, right? So like can you be able to write the program which can be programmed to display the allocated memory space, memory size to various variables, right? Let's do it. Like so, actually C provides you size of operator. Size of operator, right? So wherever you provide the variables, it returns the memory size of any variable. It's like if your var is integer, so return will be the 2. If your var is float, the return will be the 4. Means like whatever the type of variable you declare in the program, and if you want to print the memory size of it, the size of is the operator. So the operator is operator. Let's test this. We have a hash input stdio.h and we have a oneo.h. Alright, we declare the variables of all the type. Let us say for example, we declare the variable like integer a, float b, character c, character d, span, right? Then unsigned integer e, right? And then maybe long f, and then double g, so right? Like here I try to declare variables of all the types so that I can cross check what type of memory size will be allocated by the compiler to that all the variables. I clear the screen. Okay, here I write the comment, declare the variables of all types, right? And then you can use def memory size for integer and %d /1. Here the size of is operator and what is the variable name, that is a. And then you go with the memory size of float, and here is b. Now here try to understand that you are not printing the value of variable, you are printing the memory size, and memory size of all the variables is of integer, so you are using %d over there. Now this control string or format specifier actually depends on what type of data you are printing. Now size of is going to return you 2, 4, 6, and these all outcomes will be in the integer, right? Because you may get confusion that b is a floating value, so how it is printing, but we are not printing the value of that variable, we are printing the size of the variable, and size of the variable is integer. That's why I am using %d over here. Hope you understand it. And then size of the maybe your character, and you can see size of a string. second. Right. So what if you store this program and compile, what you are getting, what you are expecting as a result? Size of int here will be 2 bytes, here it will print 2, it will be here it will print 4, it will here it will print 1, here it will print 10. User defined size over there, here it will, we are expecting again 2 bytes. Okay, here it will long is 4 bytes, sorry, it's like yeah, it's a 4 bytes over there, and float here you got a not a float, it's a double. So here you will be expecting 8 bytes over there. Right? So this is the way how you will get the output of it. You understand the things over there? Now here I tested a code where how much memory size will be allocated to all those variables of different variable types over there. Right? So this is the way how we can write a program and build it over there. Right? Let us test one another code where we can program for student marksheet, where we input student name, roll number, and marks obtained in various subjects. And what we have to compute, that is the total, the percentage, right? And if you can, that's it, total percentage of the result. Because to compute the result and get the condition function that we discussed in the conversation, right? So here, hash include std.h, hash include h, give a void main. So what you need, you declare all those variables which are required. What the variables you need, the name of the students, student name, right, and you will have roll number, and the marks of the various subject like S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, as well as total, right, and the float percentage, right, and clear the screen, and then read data from the user. As I said, you're writing the program to process the data, so you read data from the user, like what you required input as input, enter student name, and then scan the value, then you copy the statements, and then the number, secondary type of data, so you accept the roll number, then the marks of the various subject like user subject 1 /t, subject 2 /t, subject 3 /t, subject 4 /t, subject 5 marks. Right? So here you will have 5% be required. And then mark S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5, and then you add the then you put the computing statement, that is total equals to S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus S4 plus S5 and then percent equals to total divided by 5, like total, you know about the total into 5 into 100 divided by 500 means 0 cancels, and again total by 5 will be there. But integer by integer is integer, and you are expecting the percentage of floating data, so you have to mask like this, so you will get the appropriate answer. And then obviously after computing you need to print the output, right? So printf, again you can go with a slash t, 3 tabs you get answer, and then slash n is a new line character, then mark sheet, and go to new line, and then you can print all the details like printf student name, that is %s, slash t, the roll number, that is %d, and then go to new line, and then give it SNN, give it one name, and give a number, and then you can print subject 1, %d, subject 2, %d, and all subject marks are printing, subject 3, %d, subject 4, %d, subject 5, %d, and then you can go to S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5. Then you print the total marks of print, that is again %d. That whether I'll be using %d or %f or %c or %s, it depends on what type of variable I'm printing or I'm reading, right? And then the percentage, again percent going to f, and then I will put the value of percentage again, and then here I will in the middle of that. So if you store and compile this code, what it will do, it will read the student data regarding the name, roll number, and the 5 different subjects marks. It will compute the total and percentage and able to print it over, right? Hope you understand the basic. Now how to compile and how to run that, you know, because you have to save it in the C compiler, control F9 you have to use to compile the code. If there is any error, it will be flash, otherwise it will directly run the code and give you the output over there, right? Hope you understand the first. That's it for today. Thank you.